Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Harm Madar. If you don't already know me, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Harm Madar, also known as H-Man. It's very nice to meet you. And so today, today I finally thought, to come, as you can see, I'm in a wheelchair and have been for the past 14 years. And I just want to take, I'm finally ready to share my story, and I want to share it to the world now, and that's exactly what I'm about to do here today. And before I start this video, before I go further and start telling the story, so this is gonna be a fairly lengthy video because there's a lot of stuff I gotta cover. I gotta cover 14 years right here, kind of thing. And or 18 years if you want to conclude it all, but that's your warning, so maybe when you got some free time, then you can watch this instead of just watching it in chunks. I mean, that's 100% your choice. And so that's my first warning. My second warning is is a profanity warning, because I do cuss a little bit, and I'm sorry. I apologize to the parents who might be watching this, but it's just the way I've grown up around, grown-ups, and they just say whatever the hell they want to say, right? So it's kind of like I kind of picked it up, and now I'll try to keep it low as far as I can, and just saying, there is a lot of deep and thick content in this video, because I'll be touching on some harsh subjects, and so that's your warning there. So let me start the story. So November 30th, 1998 was the day I was born. And for those of you who don't know, I was born in India. Yeah, I lived in Vancouver almost all my life, and some people don't know that. So I was born in India, and no, there wasn't much about India. There was just some weird things like that I remember, actually, like cow poop and sugar canes. Yeah, and going to the candy store every day, like little stupid things like that. But let me tell you, the cow poop was everywhere. Sugar canes, I loved it because it was sugar. Probably still love it today. And I was a little kid, right? Like 2, 3 years old maybe, and I was just walking around. I would go every day with one of my cousins to like the candy shop. It actually got pretty bad at a certain point. It was like, I'd be taking candy one day and then paying for it the next. That's how I lived there. And it wasn't for long though. That was India though. And then when I was 3, we moved. This is 2002. We moved here. We moved back here. We had gone for something, I don't remember. Oh yeah, by the way, I apologize if you hear any sounds, like if the phone rings or if the door opens and the doo-doo sound comes. Sometimes there's like a dog outside. We got a lot of dogs in this neighborhood. Or sometimes the people next door, but they're nice people. So, I talk really fast too, so I apologize for that. And if there's any other sounds, I apologize. It wasn't my fault. So we moved back to Vancouver. My parents had already lived here before a little bit. My mother came here in 94. My father came here in 96. And so I was just a regular kid, living my life. I went to the Casa school here. If you live in Vancouver, where Ross Street is, that's where Ross and like almost Marine Drive, if you know where that is, if you're ever in the city, or if you live here. And they had this flight of stairs. Let me tell you about this flight of stairs. It was like that, like I don't know if you can see that or not, but it was like good 100 steps maybe, and I actually remember thinking to myself when I used to go there, man, how would a person in a wheelchair or somebody who can't get down these steps get down these steps? Well, look at me now I can't get down the steps. Maybe one day though, so looking forward to that. yeah, so I was going to school. I was a polar bear for Halloween. That was really cool. I totally rocked the suit. We never thought anything would happen, but until one night. So my mother worked at a restaurant called Bidges and Rangoli, if you want to say both of them, but it was pretty well known in Vancouver, and so it was one of their annual Christmas parties, and it was out in Surrey. We just went. And we were like, yeah, free food, let's go, right, kind of thing. Having a good time. Everybody was there from that worked there, and let me tell you, it was. We never thought that anything would happen. We thought we'd go and come back. So the party was over. Had our fun. It was about 11:30. We were coming home from Surrey. So you ever been in Vancouver again? Sort of Vancouverish. Just leaving Vancouver. There's a bridge. There's a street called Knight Street. Let me tell you, this is a busy street. And you got big 18-wheeler trucks coming down. Really fast and stuff, and pickup trucks and all that stuff. And we were coming off this bridge, so we lived our turn that we were supposed to take. The turn that we would take to 62nd Street, 62nd Avenue, and was just like 30 seconds after the bridge kind of thing. And there was a thing, there was no light at that stop. So my mother is, so let me tell you who was in the car first. Wearing I don't know, like a Honda 4-door car or something. I don't know. Anyways, I believe they call that a sedan. Sorry, that's off topic. But so the four of us. There was 4 of us in the car. The driver, the passenger lady, and my mother and I in the back. So the 2 in the front were my mother's co-workers, and my mother was sitting next to me. I don't know which side, but we were sitting in the back. And my mother tells the driver, all right, hey, our turn's coming up. Put the car in the left lane. So she did, and after that point, my mother has no memory of what happened. And so we're getting ready to turn. Once again, there's no light at the stop. At this turn, and it's a busy street. It was raining and stuff. So, and it was dark. So, and cars were going past and everything. So I think our driver, I don't know what was going through her mind, but I guess she thought that she had enough time to turn. That she saw this truck coming down the hill. Not like big truck, like a pickup truck. No, actually, like a Ford truck, like one of those Ford or Chevy trucks. One of those 4x4 trucks, and it was coming down the hill. I guess she thought, oh no, I'll clear the turn by the time truck reaches us. It's still far. I guess she wasn't thinking, because this truck was coming at 100 miles an hour, and it could reach us in about 2 or 3 seconds. So she went ahead, she turned, and unfortunately the truck hit us, pretty hard. Our car flipped 4 or 5 times, landing with its wheels in the air and the hood on the bottom. Things were hectic. Apparently the truck swerved a bit, and our car obviously, had some marks on the road and everything. And it was hectic. And so police rushed to the scene. I'm gonna tell you everybody's situation a little bit later. Just let me get this part out. Police rushed to the scene, ambulance, firefighters, and and also the owner of the restaurant, Vidges. It was Vikram Vij, who's the owner, pretty well-known guy. He's been on Chopped and stuff now, and they rushed him to the scene as well. And so the cops were looking around, and they did their investigation. Sorry, that's the fridge, if you're wondering. That sound right there. Ignore that. And happened was, so the police searched and searched, and they're like, they went to the owner. They're like, all right, sir, we found everybody. We found all 3 ladies. He's like, wait a second. There were 4 people in this car. They're like, nope, only 3. We found everybody. Don't worry about it. He's like, yeah, there were 3 ladies, but there was also a kid in this car. There was a 4-year-old kid in this car. And he's like, please check again. So they did. The cops searched and searched for a little bit. And somehow I had been thrown out of this car when the 2 vehicles hit. And I had somehow been thrown out of this car, probably out of the window or something. And it was hectic. It was I had somehow I landed on some hard grass at the top of the hill, where we were, and which was about 40-50 feet away from where the car ended up at the bottom of the hill. And yeah, it took them about 10 minutes to find me because I was so far. They didn't think that I would go that far. And now I'm going to tell you everybody's situation at the time that we were in the car in the accident. And so the driver of the car, she only got injured a little bit. She was okay. The lady in the passenger side seat, unfortunately, she passed away. Well, I'm going to just say she died. 59. She was innocent. I guess it just struck through her, but yeah. But, and so me and my mother had gone into a coma. And, you know, we were rushed to the hospitals, both the different hospitals. I believe my mother was at VGH and I was at BC Children's. And, you know, like my father wasn't a part of the accident. He was somewhere else that night, and you know, he was the one in between. He had to go hospital to hospital. I apologize if my voice is starting to sound bad. Just, you know, trying to pull myself together. So my father was told that this event happened, and he stayed with me mostly, and because his English wasn't so good, the owner of Vidges and his wife, Vikram Vij and Mira Dhaliwal, so like I think Mira would stay with my father, and sorry, I'm supposed to call you Vikram uncle and Mira auntie, but you know, she stayed with my father just so she could like translate and stuff. And let me tell you, doctors were telling some bad stuff, and you know, me and my mother, we woke up from this coma almost 3 months after. I saw my mother 3 months after this accident. And shit, I couldn't even talk to her. That was the thing. You know, I was in such a shitty situation. Sorry about, there comes the profanity. It's just with it. My apologies. Like, but I found out that a lot of stuff was going on too while I was out and my mother was out. Like doctors were telling my father that, oh, your son's heart is stopping and starting. He's having many little attacks, heart attacks. And you know, I'm gonna be honest, they were about to call it quits. They were about to send me to the place where people pass away. I don't know what it's called. People always tell me, but I always forget. So try not to think negative like that. You know, and one of the doctors actually told my father, and I apologize if I'm not quoting him right or anything, but one of the doctors actually told my father that, you know, if this was my son, I just rip out his tubes right now and just like let him die. And no father deserves to hear that, first of all. Sorry, I'll get back to that. But my father was strong, you know. Someone told, like, the doctor that had originally done all my surgeries and everything, Dr. Riley at BC Children's, I'll talk about him later too. He said to my father, he's like, you know, I know you're probably going through a lot right now. How about you go to your temple or wherever you do, and need to pray and stuff, and just go think about good stuff, good positive things, and just pray for a miracle. And my father did exactly that. He went to the temple and prayed, and you know, this amazed me when he told me this, and I can understand it. He said one night. Oh wait, I'm gonna get back to that for a sec. My father said to the team at the hospital, he's like, you know, just please check one more time for my son, because, you know, okay, this time if nothing works, then that's too bad. You know, we'll have to live with it. But please just check one more time. And my father, so here we're coming back to it. My father said he had a dream one night. And in this dream, he said that God came to him and said that your son is going to wake up and say, Daddy. Then, you know, about a week later, after they had doubled the meds, strengthened the machines to the max, exactly that happened. I woke up and I said, Daddy. After 3 months, probably more than 3 months, because of all the complications. Maybe a little bit more than 3 months. I'm not sure exactly, but that's a good rough date. For sure it was 3 months. And, you know, right from there, boom, everything started. Like, you know, I was at BC Children's. I was in the ICU unit at the time, because I was still, you know, kind of coming out of that shithole. And sorry. And you know, people coming in and out of my room. You know, a lot of people. I was 4 years old, right? So I'm like, man, why are these? I was like, probably like, why are these motherfuckers in my room? Why are people coming in and taking tests and taking my blood all the time? You know, sticking these little tapes on me and doing all these tests and the beeping. And I apologize if you hear people outside too, or my parents, because they're downstairs and there's people outside balcony. You know, like people bringing meds that tasted terrible. You know, terrible food. I mean, these children, if you're watching this, I love your food. Great, especially the soup. Look, I'm just, yeah. Anyways, back to the story. Yeah, my father was the one who kind of like, you know, had to stay at home. But my mother, thankfully, because she got out of her coma at the same time I did, she stayed most of the times with me, and that was a blessing in itself, because I wasn't lonely then, right? And you know, it was just such an intense place. That was the thing. And you know, that's why I didn't like that. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to play games and actually do shit, right? But then eventually, a little bit after, I was moved to Sunny Hill Hospital. I don't know if I'm getting that whole name right, but I was moved to Sunny Hill Hospital. And let me tell you, this was more chill environment. You know, I actually got to do stuff like, you know, Like there was a playroom where I got to play like some video games, got to play some Spyro, got to play some Yahtzee, played Mr. Potato Head, Mrs. Potato Head, and got to watch movies. They had this really cool thing where you could rent a movie at night. That was super dope. And like the days were great. Being that age, everything was great during the day. Even like my mother was there too with me the whole time, thankfully. And thank God for that. And like we would find shit to do that would get our mind. Like we would take like I had a manual chair that you could wheel, and they had like little brakes that looked like mics. This is where the music part comes in my life. We would take it off and start doing our little shows. I'd be like, now introducing my mom, and she'd be like, she'd do the same thing on now introducing Harmon, and we would have just we were in that situation, but somehow we were able to be happy, to have smiles on our faces, and people would look at us and they'd be like, wow, these guys have been through hell, and they're still smiling and everything. So that's just the start of the music, though. We'll talk more about that later. So the days were great. The days were unbelievable because that was my way of getting an escape from all this bull. But the nights, let me tell you, the nights were the hardest. Because that's when I was alone, and reality really hits you like a bitch. Because it's like, that's where all the thinking starts. Thinking, oh, why am I here? Why am I stuck in this room? Why am I, why are all these machines around me? Once again, why are all these machines around me? Why? And shit would like bother me. It would be like, oh, what if one of these tubes come out? What if one of these machines stop and I die? What if I die? What if I don't get to see tomorrow? These little things at 4 or 5 years old were just things that kind of pissed me off. And I didn't know that this was soon to become my new reality. So okay, now discharged to go home 3 months later, right? That was Sunny Hill. That good and bad. And then again, boom, everything started again, started meeting new people, physios, occupational therapists, whatever the heck else, social workers, all of those people, nurses to build my team. And in fact, some of those members are still part of my team today. Excuse me. That's commitment. It was, and I started working out. I started doing exercises. I started swimming, which actually, in fact, I'm still doing to today. Still doing it twice a week. I've been doing it for the past like 10 years, and I started working out to keep myself fit and healthy. I don't know how I'm doing, but still working it every day, doing it every single day to this day. And I started going after a little bit. I started going to school. The place that was freaking far. Like it was called Berwick Preschool. Great place, loved it. Great people. Had a lot of fun, but it was far. Let me tell you, like I lived on one side of the city, and it was on the motherfucking other side of the city. A good maybe half an hour, 40 minute drive away. Now it doesn't feel like that much, but it was fucking far back then. And that was good. And that was preschool. Then I went elementary school. I had to do preschool again because of my accident. I had to stop. Basically, when I started, so they put me in it again. Then I started elementary school. That was good. About until about grade 5 and grade 6. I started getting. I started hanging out with the wrong crowds, and becoming the guy everybody hated. And I would like swear a lot and in my language and shit. But that's. I was able to get myself out of those situations. Thank God, and thankfully, But I'm not gonna go into too much about that. uh, I was grade 6 and grade 7. I think grade 5 and grade 6, I went to day camp. So I went to a day camp. If you're ever in Vancouver, Dunbar is in the west side, and which is fucking far too, actually. And it was great, you know. I got exposed. That's where I got exposed to music first, because one of the camp leaders, his name was Nam Pham. Super cool guy. He was amazing. You know, he was like a brother to me, and he was a rapper, which was really cool. And you know, we somehow we started talking, and we brought up writing, and we started writing songs together. We thought we'd do a little rap or something for the other camp leaders. I was the kid that would hang out with the kids. I would hang out with the leaders and the volunteers, because you know, I was able to talk to them easier. My voice starting to fatigue. And that was, you know, so I hung out with him for a little bit, and we started writing. And I'm like, shit, I like doing this. This is fun. That's kind of where it all started for me. Like, oh yeah, speaking of Nam, he's, you know, I refer myself to H-Man sometimes. He's the one who gave me that name. It was a part of our rap. He threw it in, and I'm like, man, that's a dumbass name. Back then, I was like, man, I'm never gonna use this name again, and I didn't like the name. But now, look at me now. Now it's kind of like my secondary name. It's kind of like my stage name. But the thing, you know, writing with him made me wanna, you know, do this music thing. Like strictly before, I was all about Indian music, all about Punjabi music, where I'm from, right? And I just grew up with it because my parents listened to it. I was like, man, I like this shit. It's good. It's got a nice beat. Singers sound good. And you know, I grew up with that. From that point on, you know, I kind of started making a transition into liking like English music, like pop music. You know, listening to people like Chris Brown, Usher, T-Pain, Eminem. You know, trying to mimic them, trying to be like them. You know, listening to other artists like Soulja Boy and Kanye West, and all these were my inspiration at the time. Kind of, you know, I would listen to the hit songs like Low and all that, and you know, trying to figure out what these people are saying in these songs. And you know, I saw this. I was with my buddy. We were watching TV, and there was this music video, and the performer was singing on stage. It was like a Disney Channel star or whatever. You know, I admit, yeah, to that. I was always afraid to tell people that when I was younger, but now I have the balls to say it. And you know, I was said to my buddy, I was like, hey man, that'll be me someday. I'm on stage like that. He's like, no it won't. I was like, oh yeah? Well, I'll prove it to you. So, you know, I fell in love with music. So grade 7, you know, I was done elementary school finally. And no, grade school though. I love you guys. If you're watching this, I love you guys. And I'm sorry I didn't come back and visit until grade 12. And so I started high school, and oh yeah, shit, I forgot to say something. So by the end of grade 7, I almost forgot a huge piece of the story. I'm so sorry. My back, right? So from the accident, I got a spinal cord injury, which is injured from here down, but I can feel like if you kick me in the leg or something, I can sort of feel it. So my spine was straight, curved, straight kind of thing, right? So we finally, the doctors and my surgeon from back 2002. Charlie's like, okay, Harmon, you're like 13 now. 2014, June 3rd. No, 2012, June 13th. We're gonna do your surgery to fix your spine, to put these metal rods in the side of your spine to finally fix it, to make your spine straight again. And let me tell you, I was like shitting my pants, scared, and it was a big thing. I left school early because I had to. I graduated early, and it felt fucking great because I was like, haha, I'm done before you, and yeah, that was my shit back then. But it was good. The surgery. Let me tell you, this surgery was gonna change my life. I had this back brace on before that was annoying as fuck. It would totally close you in and keep your back fucking straight. And so this surgery was basically gonna get rid of all that. I buried that motherfucker. And so no, I didn't actually. I thought about it. Me and my team thought about it. This is a joke. Like a final goodbye. So the surgery, they had me in on June 13th, all ready to go and everything, at 10 a.m. And let me tell you, once again, I was scared, fucking scared, because I had never been in this situation. I'd never been put to sleep for it. Well, at least I don't remember being put to sleep for anything. And what happened? So they had me all ready to go. They gave me this iPad. They're like, "Oh, this will get your mind off the surgery." Didn't do shit. It just made me more anxious because I'm like, when you take my toy away, that means I have to say goodbye. All right. Let me tell you though, that Angry Birds game was fun. So they got me ready to go. Thankfully, my mother was able to come into the operating room until I fell asleep. I said, see you later to my father. Gave him a hug. And I was like, see you afterwards. And so I went into surgery. For anybody who's ever been in surgery, you're asleep and then you're awake. That's how quick it is. And well, that's what it feels like. And then I woke up in this dark room, shades all around, and I was kind of groggy and everything, of course. And I soon found out I was in the ICU once again, the intensive care unit, and it was late. It was like I saw my parents, but I couldn't really talk to them because I had a tube down my throat for oxygen that they didn't take out yet, so they left. It was like midnight, and then that night I couldn't sleep at all for some fucking reason. It's because everything happened. I won't go into my IV rant because it's just gonna take too long. I don't want to call out the people at the hospital because they might be watching this later. Great people, thank you so much. And so there was a nurse just watching over me, and I was like, because I couldn't sleep, I was like, hey man, how long was the surgery? 14 hours. That's what that nurse said. She said 14 hours. And I was like, damn. If I could at the time, I couldn't move my arms, but I would totally pat myself on the shoulder. Just gonna make that clear right now. Yeah, and let me tell you, it wasn't easy. A lot of complications happened. I ended up staying at the hospital a lot longer than I had planned to, than we originally planned to. I was supposed to go home before the summer. I was supposed to be home by the beginning of July. I ended up staying the whole summer because of complications. I don't know what the fuck happened, but complications happened. I guess I flipped the coin and didn't get the right side. Oh shit! I guess that's what happens when you fiddle with shit. Yeah, so it was I just screwed up and pick it up later. It was good. There were a lot of hard times. Let me tell you, it was a rough environment. I ended up staying there the whole summer, so I had to make do with whatever I had there. And let me tell you, they were giving me a lot of meds, a lot of painkillers, and let me tell you, it was like almost like 20 meds a day, not including the painkillers. You know, I thought to myself, man, what if my body can't take this? What if my body's not used to taking all these meds and all this shit? Because I was also having shit pumped through the IVs, you know, and I was like, what if they win? What if all these drugs win? I actually thought of suicide. First time ever in my life. I thought, you know, man, this would make shit a lot easier. Why don't we just end it? But thankfully, something inside me said, hey, man, you were going to meet somebody amazing in the future and do amazing things. You got to fight through this. And I did. We fought for damn. We fought, and you know, we made it through. I was cleared by October, and then I had started high school, and grade 8 was a bitch too. Let me tell you, it was learning though, right? Learning everything is an experience. I started writing though. That was the good side of it, you know. Like, I started liking this girl. She was cute, a little older than me though. So I was fresh, right? So these motherfuckers had never seen me before, kind of thing. And it was just, we had met, and me and her was hanging out, and we was chilling, having a good time. You know, we would hang out at lunches sometimes, and then after certain points, it got strictly to like messaging on Facebook, and you know, messaging and texting, mainly on Facebook. And you know, when you send a message to somebody, and you know, this started happening after a little bit. So you send a message, and they see it, and they've read it, and they're still active, and they're not replying. Yeah, people are like, I know exactly what the fuck you're saying. Yeah, it was like this girl was like never online. And then, of course, I wrote a song called Never Online. And it was pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to deny it, you know. I had a nice tune in my mind to it. You know, I had a nice beat in my mind. And I was like, man, it'd be great to get this professionally recorded. And so I went on my phone, and I went on Google, and I was like, recording studios in Vancouver. Then, you know, boom, a lot of answers came up. This studio, that studio, this studio. One stuck out to me though. It was called Blue Light Studios. You know, I love the color, still love it today. And I hit the little call button. And here's another thing that caught my eye. It was a personal number. It wasn't here we have like you know, a personal number would be like we have 604, right? Orders 778. Usually when it's 778, you know, oh shit, it's a personal number. So that intrigued me even more. I'm like, okay, if I call this number, a person's actually gonna pick up. I called, and this dude picked up. I'm like, hey, you know, I need some help here. I want to record a song. Can you help me? He's like, yeah, sure, I got you. Whatever, man. Let's book a date. I said, all right. Here's the thing, though. I'm in a wheelchair. He's like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah. I said, what happened, man? You obviously hesitated quite a bit, actually. He's like, yeah, you know, everything's good. You know, we'll record the song, it'll be a hit, and we'll have a good time. And have a ball. And he's like, but when you enter my studio, there's a flight of stairs. I'm like, ah, shit. I'm like, it's fine. You know what? Roadblock. We'll cross it. You know? So I was like, all right, man, you know, I want you to be my producer and everything. And why don't you be my producer, and we'll find a place that we can work out of. He's like, all right, cool. And then we started searching. It took a long time. Let me tell you, man. It took us about like 2 months to find a place. And I'm very impatient. Like I was ready to get to work. I want to hear how this fucking song sounded. And then, you know, after a long time, we finally found a place. We found the Warehouse Studios in downtown Vancouver. And I soon found out that this is where amazing people have recorded, such as the group AC/DC and the group Mariana's Trench. And it was cool to be recording in the place where they do their shit. And you know, that's where I met my producer Kai Falk Nielsen from Blue Light Studios. And let me tell you, this guy is one of the greatest people I've ever met, and you know, I'm always gonna be thankful for him, because he's the one who helped me with this, with going further with my music. And this was really early. This is fucking 2000, still 2012, maybe 2013 going on. And you know, we recorded the song. It was dope. We loved it. We listened to it. It had a great sound and everything. And we were like, all right, you know, I made a choice. I said, hey brother, Kai, do you want to do a full album together? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get in the booth right now. Let's get to work. And from that point, we chose to do this project. And you know, and I was hyped. I was ready to go. And me being, you know, I procrastinate quite a bit. And the people on Facebook that had me on Facebook at the time, or still have me to this day, know exactly how fucking long I made them wait. Like, I made them wait. I made a big shit about the album release and everything. Like, when I was done with song 3, and I had to put 10 songs on this album. And I was like, oh, song 3 is done. Album release day coming out soon. Party. Let's go. Let's get crazy. Then reality hits you, and it's like, no, I'm gonna make you fuckers wait like another 2 years. and so I made them wait a long time. People got pissed a little bit, but that's okay. You know, it was a good product in the end. But the date finally came out, August 29th, 2014. The day my album was gonna be released is the day that me and Kai and everybody at the studio have been working for the past maybe year and a bit. You know, all this writing, all this recording, coming to the studio, just writing and doing all that, beat making and everything. It was finally gonna be in our hands, literally. And you know, it was great. I went all out for it. You know, I threw a party, invited like 200 people. You know, got t-shirts made, got hats made, had a whole booth for buying all that shit, and it was great. You know, I had proof that I've been working really hard, and you know, boom, right when that finished, I started writing the second album. I started writing more, and I was like, all right, now, you know, I've released one song, started one album, and now I gotta back it up. Now I gotta start writing the second one, because it's probably gonna take even longer. And I just started writing and everything, but then again, you know, the thought of suicide started slipping in my mind again. You know, I started noticing everything I couldn't do. You know, like, oh, would I ever be able to, you know, like, there's shit that I can't do. Like, will I ever be able to do this? Will I ever be able to do that? Or will I ever be able to give you guys, you know, be the friend that you deserve, be the artist that you deserve and everything. And you know, these little things, they would just eat me up. Like, I know this may seem like little things to you, but you know, these were little things. These were bigger things, that deep roots that, you know, I would like put a switchblade to my neck for. And it was that intense for me. But then again, music was one thing that could save me. And you know, and funny, poetry was also another thing for me. That was a way of me of getting my anger out and getting everything out that would ever piss me off or anything. Funny, because when I was younger, the two subjects that I hated were politics and poetry. Yeah, but now I do it all the time with people on Facebook and Instagram. You know exactly how much I do it. And you know, this little thing called music has had such an effect on my life. And you know, I said to myself at 10 years old, I said, you know, Armin, let's do this. Let's you know, I said to myself, I want to be a performer and sing all over the world and be known all over the world. And let me tell you, people hated that. People were trying to bring me down. They were like, oh no, you'll never be famous, or your music will never hit the world, or never get across the world. Your music will never make the charts. It'll never be good enough. Well, I was 10 then when I said it, and I'm 18 now, and now I've built this team called Team H-Man, and there's still people coming in today. Everybody who's watching this, you're officially a part of my team. I'm proud to say, and I'm going to say we and our, because this was a team effort. This wasn't just me or just someone else doing it. It was all of us. And I'm proud to say that we've made the charts. We've made the iTunes charts. We made, funny but awesome, the iTunes charts in South Africa. So that's something that's got to be international. Yeah, and you know, Toronto's heard about us. We've been written about there. I believe Edmonton has also written about us. So we're getting there as well, you know, and there's people listening to our music all over the world. We got people in India, from where I'm from, you know, listening to my music. We got people in Europe listening to my music. We got people in the States listening to my music. Sorry, our music. We got people all over Canada listening to our music. And, you know, we never let the people we never let the haters tell us what we couldn't be. That was my main, to tell you my resilient story, but to also tell you that, you know, whatever you want in life, go get it. Because life is too short to wait and, like, you know, do what you love. Like this music thing for me is something that I always wanted. And thankfully, with the grace of God and, you know, the supporters like all of you who have been there for me and are part of my life today and have been a part from the start. And, you know, I just want to say a huge thank you, because without you, without God, thank you, God, without my parents and my family, you know, without my brothers, without my sisters, you know, without all my fans that are out there who are watching this, or, you know, I am who I am because of you, and I do what I love because of you. And 18 now, you know, I'm sharing this story with you, and I hope, you know, we become closer. And you know, my parents are thankful for all of you, and we love you. Hopefully you never leave. And if you do, that's 100% your choice. But hopefully I've been a good influence on everything. And update from my parents, they're all good. My mother can walk. I should have said that before, but you know, thank God. She's always taught me, keep God in your heart, and God will guide the way and give you all the opportunities in life. And now I believe that miracles do happen. You got one sitting right in front of you, right in front of your screen. I think without God, I probably wouldn't be here today. So thank you, God. Thank you for all the opportunities. Thank you for all the amazing people. You, and all of y'all. Thank you to the people who have loved me. Thank you to the people who have, taken time out of their lives to give me even just a moment. And I want to say thanks to BC Children's Hospital. And I will forever be a donator to them. If y'all want to donate, or at least donate wherever you are in the world, donate to your closest hospital, because they do save lives. Look at the guy sitting in front of your screen right now. Without them, I probably wouldn't be here. And believe in something, alright? Because without some sort of God or something, how else would we be here? Yeah, so thank you to BC Children's Hospital. Thank you to Dr. Riley at BC Children's, the Spinal Cord Clinic, and everybody there. I love y'all so much. Thank you to when I was at my surgery up in 3R, at BC Children's. Thank you to all the nurses. Thank you to everybody there. Y'all have been great. Thank you so much. Y'all have taught me so much. Thank you to the friends I've made in the past, and to the friends that have stuck with me today. I've learned lots. Thank you to the teachers. Thank you for everybody at my preschool, at my elementary school, and at my high school. You've taught me so much. And if you're watching this, this is a big thank you to y'all. And thank you to the people who've been watching this. So please, if you don't mind, I know this has been pretty lengthy, but if you could share this, and just this thing called life is short. And I say this to people. I say, man, you have one chance at this. Second chances are never promised. Thank God for giving me a second chance at this life. Because he could have called it quits. God could have been like, all right, this guy's done. But he gave me a second chance, so thank you so much. And third chances, shit, those are rare. And they don't always come around. And this applies to everything. This applies to love. This applies to just life. So enjoy it. Be grateful. Be grateful for everything you have. Be grateful that you ain't in my situation. And if you are, make the most out of it. Because there's no point in moping and just hanging around. Because life is too precious. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time. I hope this has been fun. I hope this was a good story, and hope it touched you in some way. Finally, willing to tell it. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry about all the swearing. We laughed. We had some good time. We had some emotional moments there. Had some silly ass moments. And thank you for everything. And Team H-Man, until we die. Thank you so much.